Stephen travels to Nepal in search of the mysterious Kamar Taj. But there is very little information about it, so the man is forced to wander the streets of Kathmandu and harass passers-by with inquiries. Suddenly a mysterious man in a raincoat notices Stephen and begins to follow him. Strange continues to wander and finds himself in a nook, where he is attacked by Nepalese goons. The man in the cape comes to his aid. He easily disarms Stephen's attackers and offers to take him to Kamar Taj. The man's name is Karl Mordo and he advises Strange to leave his wits behind the threshold of Kamar Taj. In this temple-like place, Stephen is treated to tea, and a great ancient teacher, the same woman who was involved in the fight with Caecilius, immediately approaches him. The Ancient One, as her students call her, knows all about Strange and says that his own body can be made to repair itself. The Ancient One shows Stephen images of chakras, acupuncture, and MRI scans, saying that all of these methods are correct but one-sided. Stephen ridicules the teacher's statements and scoffs at her. Then the Ancient One punches Strange in the chest, thus pushing his astral body out of the physical one. The doctor still doesn't believe in the power of faith and suspects something was slipped into his tea. But the Ancient One does not give up and with a touch to Stephen's forehead, she reveals his inner eye. The astral body flies out of the man's body again and is transported to distant space in a split second. Here Stephen sees whole worlds being born and passing away. The Ancient One says that the unity of matter and thought is the basis of the universe, ideas shape reality. Stephen can see this by looking at his hand, from which many little brushes grow. In addition, there are vast spaces in the universe at the mercy of dark elements that are older than time itself. Seeing all this, Stephen returns to his body. But the Ancient One casts him out beyond the doors of Kamar Taj. Stephen begs to be let back in. Finally, the doctor is accepted back and taken as an apprentice. Before going to bed, Stephen looks at his watch, which he treasures very much. It is a gift from Christine, and Strange actually does love her, but because of his arrogance he is unable to show affection. The next day, the Ancient One teaches Stephen to draw energy from other dimensions of the multiverse to create fiery weapons for defense and attack. The man begins to believe that he, too, will succeed. He becomes a regular visitor to the local library and reads many books on magic and ethereal matters. Meanwhile, in Kamar Taj, Strange continues to study magical techniques. He tries to master the double ring, which helps the wizard create portals and travel through the multiverse. Stephen believes that, due to the injury to his hands, he will not be able to master this art. Then the Ancient One urges him to silence his ego and submit to the elements. She leads Strange to the top of Everest and leaves him there through the portal. Now Stephen must free his mind to create the same portal and leave the cold summit. With the right motivation, Strange finally succeeds. One day Stephen sneaks into the library and the guy finds a magical artifact, the Eye of Agamotto, and uses it to learn how to control time. Stephen practices on an apple, which changes before his eyes from a whole and fresh fruit to a withered stump. Strange applies the same spell to the torn pages from Cagliostro's book, and they return to their place. The guy reads the spell and discovers a god named Dormammu, who rules the dark dimension and can grant eternal life. Stephen activates the spell, which begins to change everything around him, but then Wong and Mordo come running to him. It turns out that Strange almost breached the time matrix, which is strictly forbidden. Temporal loops, anomalies, and voids can be created in this way. A magician can become stuck and relive the same moment for an eternity. Seeing that Stephen already knows a lot, Mordo and Wong tell him about the true activities of mages. Long ago, the supreme wizard Agamotto built 3 temples of power on Earth, in New York, London, and Hong Kong. Together, the temples form a shield that protects the world from the enemies of our universe. The wizards themselves protect these 3 temples from uninvited guests. For example, from Dormammu, who reigns over the dark dimension, the anti-time.